Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in. I had a video planned for this week that I kind of scrapped at the last minute and decided to do something completely different. So I will put my plans on hold, and today is a kind of a big day for me because one of my very favorite bands, who I've mentioned on this channel several times, has released their, very unexpected I must say, 6th studio album today. Today is release day, so I decided at the last minute to scrap the video I had planned for a later date and change my mind and talk about this band today because they have quickly became, in the past I'd say three years, one of my very favorite bands and somebody I have paid a great deal of attention to and listened to an awful lot in those last 3 years and have really become fond of. So today we are here to celebrate the release day and talk about my collection. Of course, it's a collections video for the wonderful Beach House. Beach House just released, if you go back a few videos, probably only about 6-7 weeks ago, their 5th studio album called Depression Cherry, which we'll talk about a little bit here in a minute. And unexpectedly, probably 10 days ago, decided that they were going to release, well, I'm sure they didn't decide 10 days ago, but they have had it in plans and made it very sudden and unexpected that they were going to release 7 weeks after their last studio album was just released, their 6th studio album called Thank Your Lucky Stars. And here it is in my hands today on a new arrival, the new album from Beach House called Thank Your Lucky Stars. And I have to tell you that I only have had this just a very short time since the mail came today. It was in my mailbox today. I have not listened to it yet, so I can't really comment on the music, but if it's anything like anything they've ever done before, I'm sure I'm going to like it very much. Here's the inner sleeve, and it is the pre-order loser edition. Typical Sub Pop has their loser editions come out that you must pre-order for to get the colored vinyl. And this particular record comes on a beautiful transparent green vinyl. So I'm extremely excited, and I'm sure as soon as this video is over, we'll be putting this on the turntable and giving it my inaugural spin for the brand new Thank Your Lucky Stars, aptly titled I must say, album from Beach House. So I really have to comment a little bit, at least, on the way this album is released, because in this day and age it's very, very unusual to release an album that has had no build-up whatsoever. And I think the band obviously did it very intentionally. They did it as a bit of an experiment and a bit of a message to say that the traditional way that albums are released today is this long, slow build-up. You know, sometimes months in advance. You know, you get the lead single and you get a pre-order and you gotta wait and wait and wait. And in the meantime, a lot of the album, if not the entire album, is already leaked. And sales diminish and the build-up, you know, it just goes on too long. So I really have to take my hat off to Beach House for trying something different. And even though this album just follows the predecessor only 7 weeks later, it is very unique this day and age to have a band do that. So I did want to comment briefly on the way this is released. Right now you can purchase this digitally and on vinyl. So I'm sure the vinyl has been in the works for a long time, because you all of a sudden don't, this day and age, just to say, hey, we're going to release another record and go print up however many copies they can sell in a short period of time. Quickly, it takes time because pressing plants are so far behind and vinyl is in such demand. So I'm sure that these were planned probably around the same time as Depression Cherry to come out, but right now you can buy it on vinyl and you can get it digitally. The CDs will follow if you're a CD lover, and those are not quite ready yet. So I'm sure most of the people on my channel collect vinyl records, so by all means go out to your local record store and support the new album from Beach House. I haven't heard it yet, but I love the band so much that I can almost say without any hesitation that I'm going to enjoy this album It is a fold-over gatefold, so it's extremely thick cardboard, and it is very, very heavy, sturdy. So really well done. I'm so excited. So this video isn't going to be super long because I wanted to go enjoy the record. As you've seen in previous videos of mine, and I just mentioned to you that the previous album, Depression Cherry, was long, almost I would say overdue. So we waited more or less 3 years to get 2 albums in the course of 7 weeks, so imagine that. But just as a reminder, here is the what I would normally say most recent album from Beach House, but now I can't say that anymore, Depression Cherry. I've talked about it briefly before on my channel when this came out 7 weeks ago. I was very excited and included it in Artists You Should Know. But I've listened to it many times since then, and it keeps growing on me with every listen. And this is the Sub Pop edition. It does have as everyone knows probably, it has a felt cover on it. Both front and back is just solid red felt. It's not velvet, but you know, sometimes we call it velvet. You've probably seen the gatefold by now, but I will show you the Sub Pop version of the album, which is beautiful. And of course the pre-order on the Loser edition, if I can get it out here. My inner sleeve is not cooperating. Comes on a really nice transparent clear vinyl. So I don't think you need to use the word transparent in front of clear, do you? It's clear. But this is a wonderful album, and I will say it didn't grab me instantly. And I guess it's just because, you know, I loved the albums so much prior to this that the expectations were so high and the wait was so long that, you know, it's only human nature to maybe have a little time for it to grow on you. But it really has, and when it comes time to do an end-of-year ranking, I know this one will rank high. I'm quite confident that Thank Your Lucky Stars will be excellent as well. So I'm going to have quite a dilemma on my hands to see which one I like better and how high they will rank at the end of the year when I do my album rankings. So I will show you too. I'm crazy. I did get the European version on Bella Union. They're on Sub Pop here. They're on Bella Union in the rest of the world. And this is the rest of the world version on Bella Union. They shrink wrap their felt cover. I don't like it as much, and I would have taken it off ordinarily, but since I can play with my Sub Pop version, and this one's no different, I decided to leave the shrink on this one. Comes with the same inner sleeve, as you can see, no difference there, but there is a difference in the vinyl color. And that's why I bought the European version, because the European version comes on a white piece of vinyl. From what I'm told, they did release a very small amount of this one on white in the US, but it was given out as independent record store day, not record store day, but record store giveaway type stuff as promotional material. So if you have a US copy on white from Sub Pop, you have something pretty rare, because I think there was just 100 copies of that, maybe 125. Oh, and it's worth mentioning, I haven't seen one yet, but I have heard, my friend Richie told me that Thank Your Lucky Stars, their brand new album that came out today, 125 copies of that are on glitter vinyl. So I didn't get one, but if you're lucky enough to have gotten one of the glitter ones, either from your local record store or through Sub Pop, please share that with me, because I would love to see it, and I'm going to bug you really big time for pictures if you got lucky enough to get one. So that's the Euro version of Depression Cherry, and here is the CD copy. I guess I'll just leave it in my little CD pouch here for now. But the Beach House are comprised of just 2 members, Victoria Legrand, who I also mentioned in another video of one of my favorite female artists videos, so if you want to go back and check that out, she's mentioned in that video. And the second member of Beach House is Alex Scally, and he plays guitars and bass pedals, and Victoria does keyboards and vocals, and Alex does backing vocals. So it's just a 2-piece band, but they are absolutely wonderful. Dream pop, indie pop. They're a mix of Mazzy Star, a little bit of My Bloody Valentine, a little bit of Cocteau Twins, Just a lot of good influences from the past that you could compare, but they have their own sound, and they certainly have made an identity for themselves in the music industry. So I'm so happy for Beach House for all the success that they've had. But what started it all out for me, I'm kind of working backwards here if you can't tell, is this album here. This is my first exposure to Beach House, and this is an album that came out in 2012, and it's called Bloom. And this album, I can say with great confidence and without any hesitation, this is my favorite album of the entire 2000s. And I know that's a bold statement, but I have played this and played it and played it so many times that I just cannot tell you how much I love this album. It is an absolute masterpiece for me. Now, others might just say it's good or it's okay, but I have really never met anybody that says they don't like it. If you don't, you don't, but for me, it is one heck of an album. This is a 2 LP set, non-gatefold, and this one here, I am lucky enough to have gotten a loser edition of that as well, also on white vinyl. As my good friend Tim Guthrie knows, there were a very limited number of glow-in-the-dark versions of this album on vinyl. And I have wanted to find a glow-in-the-dark version of this album because it is such an important album to me, I cannot lie. This is a very, very important, meaningful album on so many different levels. I met my really good friend, Mira Materna, through this album as well, because he did a wonderful video for a school project that he used the background music for Beach House, and it was late in the evening one night. I was just on YouTube thumbing through videos, and I stumbled across Mira's school project video that he had posted in public for YouTube, and I thought it was so well done. I looked him up on Facebook, sent him a friend's request, started talking about Beach House, and one thing led to another, and we spent the entire summer together last year in Texas. And shout out to you, Mira. Thanks for coming out to Texas, both you and Ramcha, his girlfriend. And, you know, we just had a magical summer last year. So really, I have Beach House to thank for that as well. So not only musically do I have such an attachment to this album, but it has a bit of an emotional attachment as well. So, you know, I'm not talking about songs individually so much in this video because I really want everyone to go out and find out what you like. They do have quite a variety of different songs, and but they have a sound that will be easily identifiable. And this album means so much to me, and I'm very lucky to have the loser edition. And Tim, if you watch this video, I want your glow in the dark. We got to work out some trade or something, because I know you like Beach House, but I don't think it has the meaning to you like it does to me. Now I will say I did find a glow in the dark copy of it in Amoeba Records last summer, behind their counter in Hollywood, California, and it was marked, I think, $200, because it is very rare. I think there was a very limited number, maybe around 100 something. And I was so tempted. I really must say I was so tempted. But no, I have to be realistic, and I looked at the vinyl and it was not in great shape. Someone didn't take good care of it. They were probably playing on a piece of crap turntable. It was a little bit dinged up, scratched up, and not very well loved, so I could not justify it for $200. That is the only copy I've ever seen, but at least I got to see it. And it's no different looking than this white vinyl version, other than it looks a little bit different as far as the color goes, and of course you turn out the lights and it glows, which would be fantastic. And I'm just kidding, Tim, of course I want you to keep yours and enjoy it, but here's the standard version, no different. It's exactly the same other than it's black vinyl. And this is actually my playing copy. I keep the white one pretty much just for me as something special to hang on to. But it's just a wonderful album. This one and its predecessor that we'll talk about in a minute, it's been at 45 RPM, so the sound is amazing. And Sub Pop does a very good job with reproducing great vinyl quality sound. So I hope I did Bloom enough justice, because anybody who knows me knows how important that album is to me. I'm not the only one. I know my friend Jeremy, it's a very important album to you, but for me, it has so many different meanings, and I cannot tell you how many hours I've spent listening to Beach House Bloom. So that's what started my love affair with Beach House. And then I worked backwards, and that's what we're doing here in this video. I heard Bloom first, then I went out and bought the album that came out before Bloom in 2009 called Teen Dream. This is very, very plain cover. It just looks like a palm tree leaf kind of in the background of a very white cover, but it does go all the way around. And then the inside of the gatefold, drop the CD, does come with a CD. Looks like that. Again, pretty plain. This is just black vinyl, so there's not much point in me pulling out the record, I don't think, but other than I'll just show you the label. It's just a standard Sub Pop label on those. This was their first album for Sub Pop. So this one is also very well liked by me. It doesn't have the emotional attachment as Bloom does, but it is a very, very good album, and every song on it is enjoyable. And again, one of those albums you can put on and it really moves you. It can take you to a different place, it can transport you, and you can just kind of drift away in it, and it's just such a romantic sound. And there's just so many things I love about Beach House, but I just love to turn out the lights, put on the music, and just let it take me wherever my mood wants it to take me, and it does it so many times. So here is Teen Dream, just a lovely, lovely album, 2009. Then we'll go a little bit further back, and we'll talk about Devotion. Devotion came out in 2008, so there was just a year gap. And I am very, very fortunate that I have found and I found this locally here at Waterloo Records, and you can see it wasn't cheap, but I did find the colored vinyl version of this direct from Bella Union, which here in America is an import. Bella Union is a fantastic label, ran by Simon Raymond from Cocteau Twins, who is a big fan of the band, obviously, and he picks some great bands. I have so much vinyl, so much music from Bella Union. It's one of the best indie labels out there. And while their records are a little bit hard to find here, they're getting easier. It's not as bad as it used to be. But at the time, this was still pretty pricey as an import. But I have to show you the vinyl color on this because it's just glorious. This too comes with a CD, which I'm happy about, but the inner sleeves are beautiful. Just a lot of different floral type patterns on that one. Then here we've got some little figurine. Not sure what the meaning behind all this is. Probably has quite a lot of meaning to the band, but for me it's just kind of pretty pictures to look at. But here we go with the vinyl color. This was the Bella Union limited edition release on powder blue. So you can see the label there. And this was prior to them signing on Sub Pop, so I don't know what label this was on in America. It may have been Car Park. Their debut album was on Car Park, or maybe it wasn't released at all here. But this was highly critically acclaimed. It landed on Pitchfork's top albums of the year in 2008, and a very, very good album. I know my friend Richie, who Richie, I talked about Beach House with you so many times, and you were so late to come into finding out how great they are, and now I can't shut you up about it. I know you got your Depression Cherry and Thank Your Lucky Stars before I did, and yeah, I know you've become a huge fan of Beach House, so I think if a lot of you, if you will take the time to listen to some of this music, I'll try to put some on softly in the background to give you a taste. We'll also come to find that this is one fantastic, I say band, but it's really a duo band, you pick. And then finally, I'll show you their debut album, which happened in 2006, simply titled Beach House. For me, this is my least favorite of the six. I do play it, but I don't hear it as often. Every band starts somewhere, but again, this was very highly critically acclaimed. They kind of started off with a bang. Pitchfork in 2006 ranked this number 18 on their top 100 albums of the year, so it's a really good album. I just have such close personal attachment to all of their others that I don't tend to play this one as much. But here's a photo of Victoria and Alex from 2006, and back. Nice glossy inner sleeve, and I'll show you the label real quick. On one side you get that pattern, looks like a honeycomb of some sort. And here you get some pearls and a diamond, and just lovely. So this was Car Park. I think am I saying it right? Car Park? Well, I think so. Anyway, this is, and I say least favorite. That by no means doesn't mean I don't like it. It's just when you have 5 other albums now that you really, really love, something has to fall to the bottom, and this is it. So, I think I've shown you, well, I've got a couple other things I can show you. In between albums, they did Bloom and then Depression Cherry. They did do one song for this really cool Record Store Day release called The Space Project. This is songs all about the source material for these tracks was originally recorded by the Voyager. And, I guess it's some... I haven't heard this in a while. I have to kind of refresh my memory, but this was a really neat project that they're using sounds and recordings from way back in the day and incorporating it with modern music. So it's got music here from Youth Lagoons, Blues Control, who else might you recognize? The Antlers, Spiritualized, and Porcelain Raft has a great song called Glove. And Beach House contributed a tune on the B side, the B side of the album, track number 3, called Saturn's. What is it called? Saturn's Song. And yeah, it's a good song, and this is a cool album. And this was a Record Store Day release, I think, 2 years ago. I think it was 2 years ago now. So there's that. And then two final pieces I can show you. I have a 12-inch single for Zebra, and the B side is non-album tracks called Baby and 10 Mile Stereo with a different mix. So this is a 12-inch single on Sub Pop, mainly to promote the single Zebra from the album Teen Dream. So there's that. So quite nice to have that black vinyl on that, and no picture on the inner sleeve to show you. And then finally, one item that is a bit rare to find, and that is a single, and I hope I say it right, Lazuli, with the B-side Equal Mind. And this says not from the new Beach House album Bloom. So it's a non-album track, and this is the single for Lazuli. Please somebody correct me if I'm not saying that right, but I think that's as close as I can get at the minute. It has a very simple black outside case, or outside sleeve, inside sleeve, and then the vinyl record is going to be a little bit hard to show you, I think, on camera, but it's a marbled blue. And I'm really happy I bought this when I did, because I've seen online that this goes for kind of expensive money nowadays. I don't know how many of these there were. I don't even remember if it was Record Store Day or not, if I'm being honest, but I'm very happy to have it, and it's one of my favorite songs that they've ever done, and certainly single worthy. So save that for last, because I think it's a bit on the rare side. So that's all I have to show you today from Beach House, but please enjoy the music. I hope it doesn't get taken down in the background from Beach House, and if it does, I'll have to re-edit the video and put it up without music. Check out their music. Depression Cherry, Thank Your Lucky Stars, came out within the last 7 weeks, and prior to that, you've got the wonderful, brilliant, crazy good Bloom. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. I didn't think I'd talk 23 minutes today about Beach House, but somehow I manage every week to drag them on, I guess. But thank you so much for watching. I'll probably do what I planned next week, and I'll leave it as a surprise. And until then, I wish you guys a great weekend ahead, and thank you for watching. Bye for now.